Happy Arvo. Hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing? I saw this video pop up. Hold on. Give me 1 second. 1 second. There it is. See, it popped up just like that. Why Australia is key to the U.S. military's new Asia strategy. It's from 6 months ago. Hey, we better not piss them off then, right? If they're key to our new strategy. Whoops. Anyway, it's my small and up-and-coming YouTube channel, The Wall Street Journal. Check them out. Link down below. I think this sounds fascinating. I want to hear. Let's do it.
I'm traveling into Australia's remote northern territories, riding with the U.S. Marines as they deploy into over 500,000 square miles of outback.
Look at the propellers on that thing.
As tensions between the U.S. and China continue to increase, America is sending thousands of troops to Australia.
And this was 6 months ago. If only you could see them now.
When the U.S. and China continue to increase, America is sending thousands of troops to Australia and building infrastructure at key locations in the country. In a strategy to prepare for a potential war over Taiwan, the U.S.
It's so interesting to me how, like, as an American, I didn't know that thousands of troops are being sent to Australia. I guess we just send troops everywhere, so it's not even... And they probably would rather us not pay too close attention, you know? I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Obviously, we're still pretty tight-knit allies, you know, even after all the bullshit. Anyway.
U.S. is increasing its military presence here to a level not seen since World War II. The U.S. and China have described Taiwan as the region's most volatile flashpoint. Taiwan is regarded by China as part of its territory, and Beijing has vowed to take control of the island by force if necessary. President Biden has said the U.S. would intervene militarily if that happened, potentially bringing America and China into direct conflict. Australia's geography offers advantages for the U.S. Lying outside the range of most Chinese missiles, the country has been compared to an unsinkable U.S. aircraft carrier.
That's what it is. Australia. It's an unsinkable aircraft carrier.
We're flying into the northern Australian outback.
I like to think it's a lot more than that, but yes, indeed, I guess that's nice too.
We're going to go visit a Australian air base where the U.S. is spending tens of millions of dollars to upgrade infrastructure as it beefs up its footprint in the region.
Tindal is one of those sites, an airbase that will soon be able to host up to 6 B-52 bombers, long-range aircraft that can carry nuclear weapons. The runways and
So this kind of gives me a vibe. It's just like, are we kind of, we're not saying it out loud, but we kind of just are getting ready for war with China. That's what's next. You know, it's like a little foreshadowing. You know, in the crazy world we live in, you know, we're on chapter 5,000 out of 10 billion till the sun blows up or whatever. And the next chapter, it's like war with China. Okay, pandemic, then war with China. Great, awesome, because that's how this is making me feel.
Facilities here are being significantly expanded, making Tindal one of the only bases in the region able to host B-52s. Officials say bombers will soon begin making more frequent deployments here.
I know this isn't the case, but it almost looks like these engines are so heavy, it's like weighing down the wings. They're built that way, I'm sure, considering they cost $100 billion. But it's funny how it looks that way.
It's part of an effort to turn Northern Australia into a strategic hub for U.S. forces. Australia's size
Well, then we better not piss them off.
allows the U.S. to spread its facilities across a vast area. American Marines and fighter aircraft operate from bases in the north. U.S. military equipment is being stored over 2,000 miles away in the south. And American nuclear submarines will soon start rotating through a naval base on the west coast. Should war break out, the U.S. can send these forces to its network of bases spread throughout the region. The work has taken on a new urgency as concerns grow over China's frequent military exercises around Taiwan.
And even around Australia now, right? Holy shit.
We're up here in Darwin right now. and that's where the Marine Air Ground Task Force from MRFD deploys for about 6 months.
Colonel Mulvihill commands a contingent of around 2,000 American Marines in Australia. In the event of a conflict, these troops would be deployed to areas within the range of China's missiles, aircraft, and ships.
Nobody wants a war with China, so how do these forces deter and bring stability to the region? It's really our main focus. The key is to balance your...
I don't want a war with China. I feel like some people probably do. But
our main focus. The key is to balance your lethality with your survivability. We've been fighting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan for over a decade, and the tactics that we applied there just don't apply to the modern battle space. So distributed operations, those forces are more survivable.
it's interesting how he says that he's speaking like we're still fighting in Afghanistan.
And we've been fighting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan for over a decade, and the tactics that we applied there just don't apply to the modern battle space. So distributed operations, those forces are more survivable because they have a smaller signature management, physically, electromagnetically. They're harder for our adversaries to find.
We traveled with the Marines deep into the outback to see how they are fine-tuning a strategy seen as critical to fighting China in its neighborhood. In a conflict scenario, teams of Marines would move forward as far and as fast as possible. Their deployment in small, fanned-out units requires developing nimble resupply tactics.
Behind us is a forward refueling point.
God damn, that thing's badass.
Where they've set up basically a temporary gas station for these Ospreys.
Dispersing troops and equipment is a tactic designed to make it harder for enemies to detect and take out units in one decisive blow. America's growing footprint in Australia is part of a broad shift in how the U.S. positions its forces as it seeks to deter China. Any U.S. military action in the region would involve America's large military bases in South Korea, Japan, and Guam. But these bases and their fuel and logistics facilities would likely be targeted by China in the early stages of a conflict. Any reinforcements being sent from the U.S. West Coast to Asia could take days to arrive. The U.S. plan is to disperse troops and supplies across the region to mitigate this threat. Huge new tanks have been built.
Jeez, I mean, it's just... This is pretty scary to me, but it's also just remarkable how even if we don't have war with China, the amount of resources going toward preparing for it, hard to even fathom.
Built in Australia's...
I mean, my lifetime's worth of tax money probably went to build just that railing.
north to allow more American aircrafts to refuel.
The idea of creating infrastructure and to be able to forward posture capability.
That's why we can't have free health care.
The idea of creating infrastructure and to be able to forward posture capabilities is really important for us.
I mean, I guess I don't know if that's being funded by Australia or America. I assume America is funding this, just because that's that's how this video is phrasing this.
And to be able to forward posture capabilities is really important for us. The distances from places like Camp Pendleton and even Hawaii are so long that it would be costly and inefficient to constantly bring material and vehicles and even fuel in and out. Our actions obviously have strategic implications, and that's why we're regularly rehearsing bringing those forces in, bringing those capabilities in, because Darwin and the Northern Territory is such strategic terrain.
You know, I really love the strategic partnership, the alliance, super strong alliance we have, America and Australia, and have had, and that relationship. And that's why it really pisses me off. Like, this is all fine. Yeah, and the whole war with China is scary. But as far as us cooperating with Australia to work together, that's all great. I just wish... I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that's why the tariffs on Australia in particular, and all of our allies, I just feel like it, in a way, it compromises our strategic partnerships, you know, which I don't like.
China has warned the U.S. military buildup in northern Australia could spark an arms race, but the American military continues to beef up its presence here as it shifts to focus on the threat from China.
I want to see a chart.
It's a vast effort to prepare for a conflict unlike any it has fought for decades.
I'm going to try to make a chart. And by me, I mean a super powerful AI robot. Okay. Massive grain of salt here. A grain of salt. I mean, it's not even a grain at this point, okay? You got to take this with a salt rock. Because I don't know why it goes, like, off a cliff right here. I think that's just, like, wrong. Anyway, but I do think this at least shows that seemingly the number of troops went from, like, almost none up to 2010. And it has been building rapidly. I mean, still granted that it's only 2,500, but I mean, that's 2,500. And I mean, here's like the Wikipedia. So that 322 number, I don't know, maybe it did fall off a cliff for some reason recently, like last year. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out, guys. Shockingly difficult to get a straight answer. I don't know. Regardless, that was very fascinating. Here's to hoping there's no World War III anytime soon. But if there is, I hope we are on the same side. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.